Well, hello again, everybody. It's experiment time. I came across a post on social media tonight that said somebody who was weathering their box cars, weathering their freight cars, weathering their good wagons, whatever, and they used fireplace ash with a mixture of, fine, what the Americans call dirt, what we call clay, soil in this part of the world, and just basically put the model into a pile of it, brushed it off, and that was the model weathered. And they said the advantage of this was that the if the model was a good quality one and a brand new one, or they wanted to ever return it back to factory condition, how they purchased it for resale on or whatever, all they have to do is wash it off under the tap and with soapy water, and the weathering is removed. And in the meantime, on the layout, it's weathered. Now, I thought about this idea years ago, and I just assumed that it wasn't practical because every time you pick this guy up, if you weathered him with this just, passive dust method, to give it a name, it would just come off on your fingers or it wouldn't stay or whatever. But then I look at my own layout and there's cars and maintenance of way equipment that's in sidings or in sitting off areas where they don't run all the time, and they accumulate dust from working in the room, and yet they do look kind of like weathered. So with that in mind, taking a not so valuable model, it's an old Rivarossi 40-foot State of Maine Bangor and a Roostuk, the famous State of Maine boxcars, 40-foot boxcars. And I've collected some ash here from the fireplace, which I predominantly burned wood pellets. It's a very fine wood ash. And it's probably got some other bits and pieces in it too. And I put it through a sieve, to really get down to the finest dust, so we wouldn't have big chunks in here. And I'm going to immerse this in the dust and then brush it off and then remove the tape and see what the difference is between the quote-unquote passively weathered side and the original side. So from what I gathered, all you need to do is put the thing in a Ziploc bag and get it dirty. Kind of gently rub the dirt in, the ash in, and let's see what happens. I took the wheels off beforehand because they would only just put the dust and the ash onto the track and cause track cleaning problems. So there it is before I brushed it off. Now I have a feeling that the brush might take too much off. I want to do it in a bag because I don't want to get dust all over this area here. No, it's kind of staying. Okay, we'll seal him up. Now, yeah, doesn't look too bad. It looks like it's somewhat weathered, and it's toned down the colors. It seems to be look quite good on the top, and the trucks look a bit better, and the ends. So let's take the tape off and see what happens. Hopefully I won't do too much damage to the steps and so on. That's my main worry. Not that, it's a cheap old model. It's not an expensive model, so it needs to be glued back on. No, they stayed. Okay. And there we have it. Well, it doesn't look like a lot, but actually I can assure you that on the, I'll take a better quality photograph, but you can see here quite clearly we have this passive weathering here, and it's still the original blue there. And yeah, it's definitely toned down the colors. It's worked really well on the trucks, I have to say. And here it is on the other side. Same thing, the trucks look a lot more realistic. And yeah, let's take a better quality photograph under better light. So here it is. I've fully weathered, dustified, whatever you want to call it, the entire boxcar, and I put it next to two unweathered boxcars, and you can see how it tones down the color significantly, which is quite, realistic. When you see these models and when these prototypes in real life, they generally tend to be like this. I'm very pleased with how well the trucks look. Compare them to the trucks on either side of the unweathered cars, and they really look the business. And especially like the roof. The roof looks great. Now, people in the past might seal this with dull coat or a matte varnish. I won't do that. Because the simple fact is, if I don't like this, all I have to do is run it under the water with a bit of soap, and this passive weathering is gone, and the boxcar is back to what it was. So it's a no-lose situation, really. And in the meantime, you get models that look weathered. So yeah, I'd have to say it does work. If it comes off over time, no loss. I can add more. And I have to say, I think this would look really good on a lot of rolling stock, particularly the ones that are black or dark brown and have a lot of detail. It could really bring out the lines. So there you go, how to weather your model train, railway, railroad, rolling stock without having to go full in and, you know, making it permanent. You can do this temporarily. Yeah, I think definitely can see this having a lot more potential. Maybe even looking at different types of ash, maybe a darker ash for the next one. Okay, take care.